So we're going on an adventure tonight. We're going down to the beach right now and we're going to have a beach fire for the sunset. Also, Logan just told me that he's never had a beach fire before, which is crazy. I can't believe that.
I know.
Anyways, we've got some dead twigs here and yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Put me on a plane. Don't know where I'm going.
A lot easier than at home.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't know where I aim. Hey, hey, hey. Lay me where you lay. So a house of linen. You will build that frame. Hey. So you find me in hey, hey, hey. Helm spokes and smay. Don't know where you're going. Don't go that way.
This evening on the beach was probably one of my favorite memories ever. After a very, very long and cold winter, being warm enough to wear a dress and the feeling of the warm air on my skin was honestly an indescribable feeling. I know that sounds kind of like a silly thing to be excited about, but this trip has definitely pushed my limits, spending so many weeks in a row outside and being so cold the entire time. This evening just felt like kind of a turning point. After a cold, harsh winter, it feels like the spring is finally here.
Wow,
This is everything I wanted.
it's been really amazing.
It's been so amazing. And so much warmer.
The fact that we're wearing t-shirts right now,
I know, at night, too.
it's amazing.
It's so nice.
Today I'm gonna paint a still from a shoot I took in the little town of Portree. I really love this town, and while we were walking through the streets, the colored buildings really inspired me to paint it. We're gonna be leaving the UK pretty soon, and I thought it might be kind of fun in this video to talk about how this past month has been a lot of ups and downs, and yeah, it's been really crazy, this traveling so far. But before that, I just really want to thank the sponsor of this video, Cerebral. Cerebral is an online mental health service that provides access to medication management, counseling, therapy for anxiety, depression, insomnia, and other conditions, all for a flat monthly rate. Treatment for ADHD, bipolar, and PTSD are available in certain states. Cerebral allows you to do visits with your counselor online from the comfort of your own home and when it's most convenient for you. If you've gone through a major life event or you're going through a stressful time, Cerebral's therapists are here for you. They specialize in grief, trauma, family and relationships, and more. You can start Cerebral with or without insurance, and it can cost 3 times less than traditional therapy. It's easy to get started with their straightforward questionnaire. Cerebral offers 3 plans: medication and care counseling, medication and therapy, and just therapy. If you'd like to take the next step in working on your mental health, click the link in the description to get started and get connected with a provider right away. Your first month starts at only $30. After a very snowy and cold winter, I'm honestly not really sure why I thought it was a good idea to travel through northern Scotland. Those first days, I was seriously questioning my sanity and why I left a very comfortable life back home and decided to travel across the world. But honestly, I don't regret any of it because through the struggle, we've both learned so much about ourselves. In those moments of being so uncomfortable, it's really easy to see clearly the important things in life. Me and Logan's love for each other has definitely grown so much stronger and deeper throughout this trip. A lot of the biggest problems during this trip, I also didn't really actually film or talk about really. I guess in my mind, I thought it was all going to be a much simpler process. The reality of something is always different than our expectation. But to be honest, with so many things not going according to plan, it's really forced me to let go. Trying to control every part of our life will always lead to disappointment. Having no expectations and no plans, it just kind of opens the door for new and exciting opportunities that are sometimes even better than anything we could have planned. Whether we leave for a day, a week, a month, and whether we go to a different town or country even, to see something new and to go beyond our day-to-day routine, we gain such a greater understanding of ourselves, of people in general, of the world. It's one of those things that you can't really teach in a book. And to experience that childlike wonder that happens when we go beyond our perception of reality, it's really a beautiful thing. And I think above all, it makes us appreciate everything in our life so much more. I've always been somewhat nomadic in my life, taking all kinds of crazy jobs just to see different parts of this world. At one point, I even found myself in Myanmar alone. I spent a couple months teaching there in this teeny tiny village. Oh, it was so much fun, but what you don't see about that time is me laying in a dark room alone for 2 weeks, or maybe longer, sicker than I've ever been in my life, with no friends or family beside me. Even in the darkest parts of traveling, I would never take any of it back. I was pretty young then, and that was probably one of the first times I've just experienced this feeling of how fragile life is, how we can be alive one day and gone the next. In my opinion, this isn't a morbid concept. It's simply an awareness to keep with us so that we take advantage of every single beautiful moment we're here on this earth, and to really appreciate every day we are alive and live to our fullest and greatest potential. The first day we arrived, it was very rainy and cold. I had no expectations of the UK, to be honest. Under different circumstances, it's actually not really a destination I would have picked to visit. I guess in my mind, I sort of thought of it being similar to the US. Only reason is just because both countries speak English, but wow, I couldn't have been more wrong. The first thing I noticed was just how beautiful the architecture is and how old everything is. Oh my gosh. All the little towns are so quaint and just so enchanting. This week we visited this little tiny town in the south of England called Castle Combe. Even in early spring when nothing is bloomed, it was still very apparent how much plants and nature is incorporated into the design of their houses and their buildings. Stone houses and overgrown plants is one of the most beautiful things in my opinion. Yeah, all of England has been so beautiful and magical, especially since I truly had no expectation of what it was going to be like. I don't know too much about painting, to be honest. I took a couple of classes in oil painting in college, which I really loved, but I kind of always felt out of place because I wasn't too good at it. I do have one really distinct memory of that class though. We had a painter come to visit one day to give a lecture and to just talk about her painting process and basically kind of her life. She was a much older woman, probably in her 80s, and she said one thing that really honestly stuck out to me. She said that she paints every day, basically, and if one day she really likes and enjoys what she painted, she'll take her paint scraper and scrape away the paint until it disappears. Her reasoning was that if she does that, the next time she paints it, it's even better than the last. She believes that, like, the more detached she is from her work, the better it is. We try so hard in this life to, like, attach ourselves to things and to our own identity, but these attachments are keeping us so limited. We're so much more than we think we are. We're so much more than our own identity. There's a really beautiful quote by Eckhart Tolle that says, "Attachment to things drops away by itself when we no longer seek to find ourselves in them." Something really beautiful that started to happen during this trip is the perspective I've gotten. Stepping away from my life for a while has really made me be able to see things so much more clear. I used to be so worried and concerned about things that genuinely just, like, don't really matter. So much of this past year, I've been suffering from more stress and anxiety than I've ever felt in my life. It's been happening slowly, but this trip has definitely helped me to just kind of not care about those things that I used to worry so much about. I've definitely felt sort of like I was placed in this very specific box here on YouTube, and that I couldn't do anything else than live my life in that small box. But I realized that it's only me putting myself in that box. I've been, in a way, imprisoning myself. And I realized, like, as long as I'm creating from a place of love and truth, that's really all that matters. I think we all kind of create this identity for ourselves. But if I've learned anything from this life, it's that our own identity is kind of just an illusion. And the person underneath that illusion is truly capable of anything. We are limitless beings that have decided to put limits on ourselves. Doing things that scare us can be a really powerful practice to overcome limiting beliefs. Getting out of our routine and doing something uncomfortable can bring so much power and help us to understand how much more powerful we are. I struggle with this practice, honestly. I feel like my body kind of craves comfort and routine, but stepping out of that routine has really helped me learn so much more about myself. This week we went to visit a friend of mine. She also built a tiny house. Her name is Flo. She lives in this, like, little community in the woods. They host, like, workshops and kids camps there, but it was so cool to see their super unique building methods, and oh my gosh, it really inspired me for all the projects I want to do when I get back home to the farm. They had this amazing building that I kind of want to replicate somehow. It was basically a place where you take a shower, but gosh, it was so beautiful. We heated our shower water by lighting a fire and using a little wood burner. This was definitely my favorite shower of the trip so far. Also, thank you so much, Flo, for offering us a shower. We were very, very dirty. This past year at the farm, I was actually experiencing, like, quite a lot of uninspiration. Doing the same thing week after week led me to feeling, I don't know if this is the right word, but, like, kind of stagnant, I guess. I don't know, I just kind of lost my excitement for life in a way. But what this trip has really done is truly inspire both me and Logan so much. I'm feeling really excited for when we get to go home and start working on all the projects we want to do. And honestly, all it really took was a break from my normal routine. The simple act of seeing and experiencing different things. Dealing with burnout can be a really tough feeling, mostly because in the moment, it truly feels like it's going to last forever. If I was giving advice to a friend, I would probably tell them to take a break from whatever they're doing and challenge themselves in a new and different way. Learn a new skill or try a new hobby. I'm feeling quite proud of this watercolor so far. Painting is something I'm going to try and get better at throughout this next year. Try to spend more time doing that. Something I've actually been wanting to start for over a year now is a podcast. I even months ago bought all the stuff I need to record it and stuff, but I've just been kind of scared to start it, I guess. I just have a fear maybe no one will care. I don't know. I don't really know why I've been scared to start, but I should take my own advice and just do it because there's really nothing to lose. So maybe that'll be happening soon. Oh, excuse me, I'm feeling really tired today. We spent the last couple days driving, and yeah, part of me really wishes I was home cuddling in bed with the cats. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening and watching this video. Yeah, I love you all so much, and I will see you next week.